Hi guys, I'm Chelsea and this is Curtis. Thailand is known for being the land of smiles, but in our experience, this can often be turned around by a cab driver.
That's why we put together this video full of tips and tricks about dealing with tuk tuks and taxis and scams to look out for.
Tip number 1 is ask for the meter. Now, every travel and advice blog is going to tell you to ask for the meter in Thailand, but in our experience, it isn't as easy as it sounds. It's not that simple. So in our experience, if you have a good bellhop at your hotel, oftentimes they'll put you in a cab and they'll make sure that you have the meter on for you. Places like shopping malls often also have a security guard that'll make sure that the meter is turned on, but most of the time, you're gonna have to negotiate.
Tip number 2 is negotiate before you get in the taxi. If you get in I just spat. Do you see that?
No.
Tip number 2 is negotiate before you get in the taxi. When the taxi cab pulls up, look in the window, tell them where you're going, and oftentimes right then they'll give you the price that it's going to cost for you to get there. If you get in and they start driving and then you negotiate your price, all of your leverage is gone. Make sure you negotiate before you get in. That way you have the bargaining power of not getting in the taxi and not going with them.
For example, one time the bellhop had put us into the taxi. We had gotten used to them making sure that the meter was turned on for us, and in this case it didn't happen. So now we're in the car, we're driving already, and the taxi driver puts out some ridiculous number to get us to our destination, and we're already in the car in traffic, and we did end up threatening to get out of the cab in hopes of negotiating, and he did bring us rates down, but it just puts you in an uncomfortable situation.
So tip number 3 is to stay persistent. When you're negotiating price, you should already have a price in mind. The first taxi ride that we took was from the airport to our hotel, and that was about $16 or 400 baht for a 45-minute cab ride. With that being said, if we knew that a cab ride was going to be 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, what have you, kind of use that as a benchmark and then negotiate from there. There's going to be many an occasion when you go to get in a taxi and they offer you a ridiculous amount, like double or 3 times the amount that it costs to get from point A to point B. This is when you have to negotiate and you have to stick to your guns. There's been numerous times where a cab will come up to you, they offer you a price to get from point A to point B, you negotiate back and offer a fair price. Sometimes they'll drive away. Sometimes they'll get pissed off that you're lowballing them even though they're trying to rip you off. Just be patient, let the 3 or 4 taxis go in front of you. There's gonna be one that's gonna give you a fair price.
I don't know why they come up with some ridiculous rates, but it's gonna happen to you.
Maybe it's because Chelsea's so pasty.
Yeah, we got foreigner stamped on our foreheads.
Tip number 4 is if the rate is too good to be true, it probably is. A taxi or tuk tuk will come up to you and they'll offer you a great rate on a cab, 100 baht, which is like $4, sometimes even free, but they'll say 100 baht, but we gotta make one stop. That's when you know it's too good to be true. Every time they offer you this, they're gonna take you to a jewelry shop or a suit shop. They all kind of work on commission from what we understand. So you'll get to your destination eventually, but you're gonna have to stop at one of these shops along their way in hopes that you buy something and then everybody gets a cut of it, that type of thing. So if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And if they ever say, but one stop, say no, we want to go straight there. They don't really haggle you too much on the stop. Just make it very clear that you're not making any stops, so pay the full price to get from point A to point B.
I mean, as far as scams go, it's a massive waste of your time. It doesn't even necessarily cost you a lot of money, but I have heard of people, once they end up in the store that's their one stop, these people are putting really high pressure sales tactics in to get you to buy a suit, to get you to buy jewelry from them. Everybody knows that that's super uncomfortable.
Not at any point did we ever think that we were ever in danger. It's just kind of a pain in the ass and a waste of time. That it's recording?
Really suck if it wasn't recording. We keep hearing more and more stories from fellow travelers about how elaborate the scams are getting in terms of, I guess you could call them salespeople, helping to build trust with you. Someone on the street corner who seems like a super friendly local will strike up conversation with you. Someone had their cameras out and he said, "What are you shooting on?" And it became an opportunity for them to have a little bit of small talk.
It's weird how good these guys are.
Yeah, it is, 100%.
We may or may not have gotten sucked into one once, but this guy was like on point.
Yeah.
He could have worked for the Wolf of Wall Street or something like that. This guy was like amazing.
Yeah, he super friendly, super nice, made you feel like he was really giving you great advice about where you should be going. And they try and put you into the tuk tuk. They'll tell you that this one tuk tuk will take you around to all of these destinations and they'll wait for you as you tour each one of these places. They're gonna take you once again to their friends, to the jewelry shop, so that they get a commission off of all of those.
Again, with any of these scams, we never felt like like we were in danger. Earlier I said that we got took on one of these scams. We got taken around. We went on a little boat tour. After the boat tour, we were sitting there. We're going like, oh my God, we just got scammed. So after that, we told the cab driver, the tuk tuk driver, that we wanted to go back. We didn't have time to finish the tour. He was a little bit annoyed. He got really quiet and upset that we didn't want to finish the tour, probably because we were taking money out of his pocket. We doubled whatever he was paying us for the tuk tuk for the day anyway. But again, we never felt like we were in danger. He was kind of pissed off at us for not finishing the tour, but we were pissed off at him for taking us up the tour. Rant over. Go ahead.
I still can't believe that the guy wasn't genuine and that he was taking us for a ride, because he was so incredibly nice. And oftentimes scams around somewhere like the Grand Palace, they'll tell you that it's closed and come back another day, and then they'll put you on this tour as an alternative to you going to the Grand Palace. So I had heard of this before. I was prepared for this. I said, let's go to the National Museum. And he said, no, that's closed on Mondays. And it was a Monday. And I even took my phone out and Googled it. And Google told me that it was closed. So I thought that there was trust there. I was like, no, this guy like told me a real fact. He can't be taking us for a ride, but sure as heck he was. Point number 6 is find taxi alternatives. We fell in love with the BTS train system in Bangkok. It was incredibly easy to navigate. It was so clean, so clean. I don't know what to say after that. Oh, and the best part is if you type in directions in Google Maps, it will even tell you what train stations to get on and off at. So it's almost foolproof. And it's cheaper and faster than cabs, especially when traffic gets heavy in Bangkok.
Just a quick point on tuk tuks. When you're negotiating with a taxi compared to a tuk tuk is probably going to be at least double the price for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe it's like real tourist nostalgia thing. But you'll see lots of locals taking tuk tuks. I doubt they're paying what we're paying. Anytime we've ever negotiated with a tuk tuk, it's always been double. So just keep that in mind. Tip number 7 is be grateful. No matter what you paid for a tuk tuk or a taxi in Thailand, it is ridiculously cheap, even if you get ripped off. Most of the time, after we found an honest cab driver that was going to give us a decent rate, we always tipped very well, sometimes even doubling it. If it's going from 100 baht to 200 baht, that's an extra $4. Or if we tipped another 50 baht or something, it's an extra $2. It means almost nothing to us. It's a can of Coke here. Imagine if you were a cab driver in Canada and somebody doubled your fare for a tip, like it's a way bigger deal to them. So just be grateful. If you find somebody honest, I'd recommend tipping well. You don't have to. But.
Along the lines of being grateful, take the time to embrace what it's like to be in Thailand traffic. It is one of the craziest phenomena. Oh frick, I can't say it now.
Phenomenon.
It's a
phenomenon.
You know what it sounds like? You know what it sounds like? That the Muppets. Phenomena.
Swedish.
Phenomena.
Phenomena.
Yeah, no, colorful, hairy people. Phenomena.
Phenomenal.
See? Thanks for watching, guys. We hope that this video has got you ready to jump in your first cab in Bangkok.
If you guys like this video, scroll down, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button since you're down there. If you haven't seen it yet, there's a little bell down there. When you hit that one, it'll notify you when we post new videos. So we'll see you on the next one.